Hey guys, everybody, welcome to Astronaut Lounge. Today we've got the team from UXOS with us, and what they are is a utility token with, from what I understand, shilling bots that can shill on multiple platforms like Twitter, Telegram, TikTok, the T's. Um, and I will pass this over. Who wants to speak first? Give your guys a brief introduction and just personal introductions for now, and then somebody can introduce the project.
Yeah, well, I'm Big Time Aki. My real name's Chris. I'm from the UK. Um, the other dev is Stefano, who's Italian. He's from Rome.
Hello, guys. I'm very happy to be here with you today.
It's great to have you, man. Give me a little background about your guys' experience in the space, and how long have you been in crypto? How long have you been developing? Just general background.
Yeah, that's cool, bro. I've been in the space a few years now, been developing probably half that time. Um, the reason I got into developing was to start with, it was just out of interest. I made quite a few connections in my time. I'd helped with some quite successful projects, and it just seemed like it was the next step because it just kept getting more and more interested in it. The reason that we started UXOS was because during all the highs and the lows of the markets that we've seen and the bull runs and that, we've noticed a couple of trends in things like building communities and stuff is a lot harder now, especially on the BSC. Um, so we identified a problem, and we're currently developing a solution to that problem, which we will talk about during this AMA.
Yeah, perfect, man. And I've known you for a while in the space from different projects as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, I know you are definitely a seasoned person around here. So, and I completely agree with the lack of engagement in the BSC. Sometimes it can be
yeah, it is. It's difficult. It puts devs within projects in a situation where like if they're trying to build a project, they also have to try and build a community. Well, building a community in itself is a very time consuming um it's a problem basically. It's a very time consuming task. Um and realistically, devs should be developing the projects and not focusing on just building a community. But you've got to find a balance because you can have the best projects and the best developed ideas on the space, and if nobody knows about it and you've got no followers, it's never going to do anything. UXOS is a solution to that problem. Like we can automate marketing using our AI bots across multiple social media platforms. We can target specific hashtags and help projects organically build communities. Um, when we launched UXOS, we did it before Christmas. I think we was like 4 or 5 days before Christmas Day, and we didn't tell anybody. We didn't do any paid marketing, no pre-launch calls, no nothing. And we basically just turned our utility on and sat in the Telegram and waited for it to do its thing just to see what would happen. Um, on Christmas Day, we started with a $240 LP. I think B&B was around the time. It was one B&B. Christmas Day, I woke up and we'd hit $148,000 market cap. And I think we was about 600 members, and then on New Year's Eve, which was a Saturday, we revisited $100,000 market cap, and I think it was, I can't remember the exact member count, but we broke around 1,000 members in the Telegram there, which was all organic. Um, I mean, I'm not saying nobody hasn't called us, because we do get FOMO callers, but as for seeking out and booking callers or influencers to make calls, we've done none of that. We've literally just been built on our utility. Unfortunately, we had an ETH address removal bot in our Telegram when we had over 1,000 members, which was doing its thing, and whoever owned it used that bot to leverage an admin position and basically started banning everybody in our Telegram and holding us ransom for one BNB. Um, so
Yeah,
I think they took
yeah,
us back to about 500 members before we managed to get them out and unban everybody. We've just been letting the utility do its thing again, and we're currently over 730 members again. So it's not really affected us in the slightest. It didn't damage the chart. We've got a nice solid floor sitting around. So I'd say about $60,000 market cap seems to be the floor. We're developing more and more utilities daily, and the community is still growing strong, and like we're not having to do anything in that aspect. Like we're busy with the projects, but we're busy developing more utilities, which was the whole idea behind UXOS. We're trying to develop a platform that other devs can use to market their projects, and actually once like they book in with us and we start building their community for them all automated, then it allows them to do what they should be doing, which is developing their project and not spending hours and hours copy and pasting shield messages in different groups trying to pick people up and make a community or paying people, because that's another advantage we've got as well, is once you book in with us, our services are targeted. um, we've got a good reach on Telegram. I think we're in about 600 groups at the moment. We're trying to extend that to over 2,000 groups. And the AI itself, it doesn't take a break. Like if you pay human shillers or a raid team to go and work, they will have breaks. They will eat, go to sleep, whatever. Our services run 24/7.
yeah. That's awesome, man. And it is very hard to get people to, especially early on in a project in the BSC. It's very hard to get people to go out and actually raid and chill, on their own. Nobody wants to work for their bags. They're just wait for the next call so they can use
Yeah,
that for
that's
extra.
it. And I mean, so far we've seen very good progression in our own community, because we're obviously showcasing our utility on our project. Not only does it help like get the word around, it also proves that our like utilities work. It's a showcase in itself. We've got a good solid community. I've yet to see anybody in the chat asking for a call. Um, I don't need to worry about investments before I go to sleep, and that goes for all of the community. Like we go to sleep, we wake up, the chart's healthy. I mean, people trade, so we are fluctuating, but as we fluctuate, the LP fattens and the fluctuations get less. But we rarely drop below 60,000, and when we do, it seems to just get bought back up. Um, so the utility in itself, the marketing side of the utility is it's very well proven. It seems to be doing its job. We're also developing a Telegram bot that we've nicknamed Uxie at the moment, which um, it's a multitude of utilities all rammed in one. So we've got like all the functions of like Miss Rose bot. Um, there's a lot more functions added. We've added community engagement functions such as translations, so you can quickly translate in between different languages. Um, it's got it's got some fun stuff on it like games and whatnot, but it's AI based, so you can ask it questions and it'll answer. You can talk to it and get it to speak back. It'll automatically turn like text to speech and stuff. It'll draw art for you. It can help with logo design. Um, we just rolled a massive update out for it a few days ago. We've got another one planned where it's going to get integrated with the same functions as like Bobby Buy Bot or um, biggest buy tech bot. So you can run competitions, have your own, um, like the bot will have its own buy bot posts and whatnot. Um, it's going to have a user interface in DM, which it already has, but it's going to get expanded on, where we've got buttons for directly purchasing UXOS AI marketing packages. Um, it's going to have a partnership, like we're creating partnership with callers and we're building networks as well. So in the bot via DM, you'll be able to book callers basically. It'll give you information on callers and it's going to have a rating system as well. So you can see like which callers brought in the most like rates for volume, support after call, stuff like that. And they'll all be priced and they'll have like little mini portfolios where it'll say like this caller is priced this much and they're best used between these market caps. They've got the most effect between these market caps and whatnot. So the Telegram bot side of things, we're trying to build so it's just a one-stop shop for anybody with a crypto project. Instead of having to get like 5 or 6 bots in a Telegram and set them all up, you can just get Uxie in, enter your contract details, and then you'll have a buy bot. It'll notice that that is the official contract for that token. So if anybody goes in trying to post fake contracts, it'll automatically delete them and everything. Um, it's obviously got the multilingual feature. So if you've got any members come in from different communities, like in UXOS, before we um, integrated that feature, we ran some Moon Talk advertising, some banners on their website, and we got quite a lot of Chinese investors coming in and asking questions in Chinese. And obviously, we don't speak Chinese; we're majority English speaking. Um, so that's where I identified a problem again and started developing a solution to that problem. So now, if anybody comes in, they can speak basically any language. We've even tested it with some like not so well known languages from like small islands in Indonesia and stuff like that, and it's got a really good translation rate. So it's quite interesting.
Cool, man. So do you guys just basically pull the translations from Google Translate? What API do you use for that?
It's a mixture, mate. The bot that we use, Uxie, for all that stuff, it's plugged into a lot of things. It's got GitHub plugins, IMDb, which is just that's one of the fun features, but it's also plugged into several modules for OpenAI. So if you've ever you'll have heard of like ChatGPT and stuff. We've got
Yeah.
modules hooked into that. It hooks into Google, Google Translate, but it uses it takes whatever the commands are given. It will take what it finds is the best information, and then we'll give it you. Like you can use our bot in our main channel, and we've also got a Telegram channel which is at Play with Uxie, and you can go in there and just like spam away and just try all the features on it. You can send it a DM. It'll give you a breakdown of what's in it at the moment. You can play with it, make art. It's quite a decent bot. It's very powerful. It's packed with features, and we're going to keep developing it. And currently, um, like OpenAI have their own Telegram bot, and I don't know
Yeah.
how, but so far ours is faster. I'm in a few chat rooms where there's RBot and OpenAI bot, and if you trigger a command that both of them will recognize, ours answers first. So it's a lot faster than OpenAI's own bot at the moment.
That's crazy. It's crazy. So
Mm.
how do you guys I mean how do you work that with the speed? Is it the strength of the servers or multiple
I think it
servers?
is. That's why I'm saying at the moment it's faster. I think as it becomes more adopted, I mean, it's on a dedicated server with a gigabyte bandwidth, so it's reasonably fast. But obviously, if you go and stick it in 20,000 Telegram channels, that bandwidth is going to take a bit more of a beating if everybody's hammering the bot. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and the open AI bot is definitely in a lot of channels.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually added it here for somebody for about an hour, and I took a shower and came back, and he was trying to get anime porn up on there, so I deleted the bot.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
removed
another
I
thing.
removed the bot.
We've got filters on it, and OpenAI has also got their filters on it. So pornography, violence, racism, stuff like that, it's all filtered. So if you try and generate an image with the bot for something that you shouldn't really be generating an image for, it'll just come back saying failed to generate image. So it's got filters on it to make stuff safe.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I know OpenAI does as well, and people are all about finding the workaround for that. So it was
Yeah.
pretty interesting to see some of his commands that he was trying. Um, but let's get into the token side real quick. So you said you started with one BNB and LP, so around 240. Um, what are the tokenomics on the coin, and how much of that goes to LP?
Yeah, well, we've got 1 billion supply. Um, we did trend on competition buy bot because we brought that in to just get the word
So
around, see if we could trend. So they actually purchased, I think, zero point 0.3 BNB of tokens and just burnt it. So we are slightly below 1 billion tokens. Um, the buy and sell tax is 10% each way. We take no dev fees for that. The tax is split currently at 7% LP because we're trying to fatten the LP for the next legs up, and 3% marketing. That will be staggered back down over the next couple of weeks as the LP thickens out, back to its original 5.5. We hold no team supply. We basically, as when the utilities are developed, when we hire them out, we already hired them out, but we was running on free like VPS servers at that point. So we decided that all revenue that we generated would just go straight back into UXOS chart, and that was the beginning of our ecosystem. And we're going to continue to do that, but as the utilities, when they're finished, that's where we will start taking our dev fee. Um, Not through the taxes or the chart. We will take that off the initial hire of the service, and that'll be our little fee, which is that's been put in place to give us the drive to continue because we don't want to be making money elsewhere in the meantime. That's how we will make our income is at the end when everything is deployed. Um, and the rest of the money will cover overheads and we'll just go straight back into the chart. So we're hoping we've got packages set up. The average price of a package is zero point 0.2 BNB at the moment. Um, that's probably what we will launch at on a major scheme. We are taking clientele orders on. We've got a client wallet in the chat, which you can just punch in an easy filter to find it. That displays the balance of all payments in. I think we've earned 0.62 BNB off the top of my head at the moment, just from hiring services to people that we know, because it's not automated at the moment, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's already started to generate revenue. We said once it hits one BNB, we'll do a buyback into the chart with that, and that's what we'll keep doing every time it hits a BNB. It's just going to go straight in the chart.
Okay, so that's perfect. That answered the next question I was going to ask. The pricing on using the services and how that um, integrates into the token
Yeah,
holders, and
yeah. Well, we've got ideas of different package amounts, and obviously it depends on what you want. Like if you just want Telegram shilling service and say you want to hire 2 bots, then it's going to be a lot cheaper than if you want 10 Telegram bots, 5 Twitter bots, and a couple of TikTok bots. So the package price will vary. Our entry level starts at zero point 0.2 BNB. Um, that's for 24 hours service. And then like I've already answered the other part really. But yeah, currently it's all going back into the chart at 1 BNB increments. After that, we've just purchased a VPS server, an upgraded one, so we can put more services online. We intend to get a couple of virtual private servers, so we can spread our bots over those and make a little cloud. So if one server, for whatever like technical reason, goes down or whatever, the services won't be offline. Um, that's our next step, is just to keep broadening that.
that's perfect. So you have the different platforms that the bot can run on. As far as
Yep.
TikTok, Twitter. Um, you know, Twitter has been got basically kind of going to battle with bots on there. How do you guys work around that?
Well, the way we've set our tech up with that is it's target specific basically. So you can like say like UXOS, we're using that hashtag UXOS. We can get the bot to search for that hashtag, and then it will like and retweet posts automatically. Um, it works within Twitter's terms of service for automation as well. So it's not against any violation. And the same with our Telegram tech. Like, I'm not going to try and make out like we're the first people ever to have Telegram shield bots, for example, but ours are much, much smarter. Like, they've been coded specifically to do the task and avoid getting banned or shadow banned. We've got a human touch function in there, a Lambda function, which will take a shill and will um, subtly change it so that no posts are the same. It'll add like a goodbye message on the end and things like that, so that the messages are not, it's not just the same message that is being pumped out constantly. It changes, so it's harder to get detected. Um, they've got protection against like if it notices that it's getting banned from channels and whatnot, it logs it all and then it will eventually shut down to save the bot account getting banned. If the bot account gets banned, then we just replace the Telegram account and just start again. It's not a big problem, but I think we've been running, we was running the tests. We're 3 weeks old today and we was running the Telegram bots 5 weeks prior, testing them. And we've not had a bot go offline for being banned yet. So we're 8 weeks in and none of them have been touched. So that's a good thing. There's another thing that we're doing with the Telegram bots is to advance them to the next stage, where that we're grouping them in time zones, so we can cycle through the bots and target specific time zones. So it's like if we know that peak time in America, for example, then the bots will start targeting American Telegram channels, and it'll lay off the other ones to, one, to save load, and two, to stop the messages going out. So it's like if it's mid-morning in Europe and it's off peak, it will still shill in European communities, but the rate slows down. so that it doesn't get caught spamming, if you will.
Oh no, yeah, I understand. And so with the Telegram bots and they're shilling in these groups,
Yeah.
I'm assuming they would just be, they just drop like a copy paste shill and that would be it, right?
Yeah, it's a copy paste shill to an extent. Like you have to give it something to work with, but the text switches it up a bit, so it might like reorder the say like you've got your normal shill, which is like your project name, a bit of info, and then it'll say like chart, Telegram, Twitter, and there'll all be links and stuff like that. It might swap round the order of the links. So instead of chart, Telegram, Twitter, it'll do Twitter, chart, Telegram. And then it'll add a message on the ends like, thanks for checking us out. Have a good day. Something like that. It just adds a human touch so that none of the shills, it's not just like you copy pasting.
Right. Okay, yeah, so I was wondering because, in my lounge, actually people get banned for copy paste shills. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Yeah,
if
there
they
is
don't,
some channels that do have rules. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be some
yeah,
that, unless we specifically sit there and code the bot for that channel, then it won't work in it. But there's tens of thousands of crypto channels. So what we do is we get lists that are scraped in order of like activity and whatnot. And then we go in, this is the time consuming part, but we go into each channel individually and we check the rules and if you're allowed hard shilling, stuff like that. If you're allowed to post links, and if it passes all of those, then we leave the bot there and we'll let the bot do its thing.
okay. So, just out of curiosity, I'm sure you guys have pulled the numbers and run the numbers on these. What would be the most effective or active, say, American channel that you guys have run the bot in?
Without going through all the data, mate, I couldn't answer that on the spot.
I didn't know if you had the numbers just pulled
Yeah,
together.
no, not in front of me, mate. No.
And how many projects have used this so far?
We've taken on two clients, but we're at a stage where that we're still developing stuff. We still take them down and update them and then put them back online and stuff. So we're not really pressing for any business. The two clients that we've taken on have either been holders of UXOS and no devs that require the services, or the friends of ours who know like what we're doing and are interested in it because they've seen it work. So we haven't actually advertised for any sort of business at the moment. It's very early. As we make improvements and we get the tech to where we need it to be, then we'll move on to a different tech and then we'll finish that one and we just keep completing the process until we've got a large array. Like at the moment, I think we're running about so we're running about 8 AI services, not including Uxie. Um, we intend to take this to 20 plus, and then we will start advertising for clients.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely helpful to have a wider array of.
Yeah, the idea is basically when I mean we've showcased the utility and we haven't done any paid marketing ourselves, so everything that we've seen has been organic and it's just been based off utility. This will forever continue to grow, and the more services we get online, it will help push us. We want a larger array of services so that we can afford to take on clientele at like the same time. So if we get like two devs approach us and they both want 3 days shilling, then we'll have enough services to supply both of them. And then in the future, we're just going to keep developing the bots, and basically once they're all set up we have to clone them and then assign them to a Telegram account if we were talking about Telegram, for example. So we can just keep adding more and more bots, and then if we need another VPS server we'll purchase one. and we'll get the bots on there, and we'll just keep expanding the services. When the services are off hire, then they don't stop working. They just switch back over to UXOS. So they'll forever be shilling our token. That will never stop. They only stop shilling UXOS if they're on hire. And when they're on hire, we might be shilling another project, but they're still branded as UXOS. So if you was to click on the shill account, it'll come up and it's got our logo on, details of our Telegram link and our website and whatnot. So it's all branded still as us. So there's forever going to be eyes on this project, and it'll just keep dominating. And then on the flip side of that, going back to Uxie, we're trying to create a one-stop Telegram bot that can be put in a channel that developers can use and quickly and instantly set up telegrams through one bot instead of getting 5 or 6 bots in and then setting up 5 and 6 bots. And then on the back end of that, you can directly purchase UXOS marketing. So you can get the bot in a telegram, quickly set everything up, purchase a shield package from us, and then our AI will start working if they pass vetting, because that's another thing that I haven't touched. And we're going to have a vetting process. I'll talk about that in a second. But on the Uxie subject, it's going to be a big utility in itself. Like, we're talking with a partnership with another token as well. They have a utility where you can create crypto themed websites on an online builder. So you don't need any HTML skills or anything. You can go on there, pick a template, upload your own media. So you can put your logo on there, your pictures, fill in all your stuff, make a white paper and all that. You can do all that on there. So we're doing a partnership with them, and that's going to be brought into Uxie as well. So you get the bot, you put it in your Telegram, you set everything up. It's got a buy bot in it. It's got service packages for shilling to grow your community organically that you can just purchase. Then you don't need to worry about that. You just provide details and whatnot. You can build your website. It'll protect you against scammers coming in and trying to hijack your Telegram with fake contract addresses and stuff like that. It's a very, very powerful tool. And again, it's branded for us. As we develop this and we bring in certain features, that those features as well are going to become a premium feature. So we're making kind of like a subscription package where there'll be certain features of the bot that will be locked or you can use but not to its full potential, unless you hold $100 worth of UXOS tokens. So the bot, when it becomes this big powerful thing and gets adopted by people, because I mean it's cool. Like, I advise anybody who's listening in the AMA to drop into our main channel, even if you just come to play with the bot, just to see the tech that's in it. But people will want to use all the features that come with that bot because it's going to be extremely powerful for people who develop crypto projects. And the good thing about us as well is we're based on the Binance Smart Chain, but all of our utilities are not based on the Binance Smart Chain. So we will take payments in BNB for our buybacks and whatnot. But if somebody's launching a token on ETH, they can use all our shilling services. If they've got a Telegram channel, they can use our bot. It will make no difference. So we're not just limited to Binance Smart Chain. Uxie is trying to become the go-to bot for all crypto developers to get on there and be able to very easily launch and manage a project without needing a massive team or to pay other humans to do tasks for them. You can sit there at your own laptop and you can run your whole project on your own, sort all your marketing out, build a website, protect your Telegram, set up portals. People come in, as you're building the community, they'll start playing with the bot, drawing pictures, asking it questions and whatnot. It just keeps people interacting and the chat busy. And that's what it's all about. And we've, like ourselves, we've seen it and we've seen people come in they play with the bot, they stick around, they think the tech's cool, and they've been buying into the chart. We've made like a lot of new friends and a lot of new connections and stuff. We've got big crypto influencers that are very interested in our products. Um, we've got a partnership with Kobe. We've got a partnership already with Crypto Gods. Um, Homer Calls is been working with us. Bateman partnered with us. I've just lined up a partnership like 10 minutes before this VC with Dylan from where it used to be Dylan's Dirty Apes, but he's rebranded recently. But there's a lot of
Yeah, I
base
know
people. I've got yeah, Undercover Whale. Yeah, he's a good guy. I've been talking to Caesar. Achilles is aware of us. He actually FOMO called us on his gamble channel because he was quite impressed with what we've been doing. So we're building a good solid network, and the utilities are forever getting developed. And I can't. It makes me sound big-headed when I say this, but I honestly can't see UXOS failing at any point. As long as us as a development team continue to develop and roll out these utilities, those utilities will be in demand across multiple chains, and the, the scope of people is hundreds of thousands. And then when people purchase our services and our services go live for their project, all of their community that will be brought in organically from our services will all know about UXOS as well. It's just going to be everywhere
yeah, for sure,
and
man.
across all social media platforms as well. Like it just won't stop growing. The more bots we get, the more eyes, like it'll just keep chasing and chasing. And like I say, we're building not only like the utilities, but we're trying to build a brand. So you'll see our name or our logo on a shill and you'll instantly know. And then touching back on what I said before is when people like we go live with the services, we're going to introduce a vetting process. So we'll be taking information from devs. Like we're not we're not too sure if we're going to end up KYCing people and everything because obviously as a respectable brand, we're not just taking on anybody who's, oh yeah, I'll buy a 0.2 B&B shilling service and I'm going to rug at 2K market cap. You know what I mean? So there
Yeah,
is going to be there is going to be some security over that. And I spoke about this in another AMA. I would like to get to a point where our market cap is good enough that we can switch one of the taxes down a percent to create what I want to call a treasury, which will be kept in the event of insurance. So if we do fail on the aspect of vetting somebody good enough and they do rug, there would be some sort of insurance somewhere for anybody who was affected by our shilling, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah. That
we're
definitely
a long
makes sense.
way, yeah, we're a long way away from that yet. But yeah, that's the idea. I want to try and make it a safe platform for everybody and bring utility to the space that, like I was saying before, we've identified problems and we're trying to get around all of those. Like we're trying to help build communities. We're trying to take the stress off devs building communities so they can actually focus on developing their contract um, or their project. Sorry, not the contract. So, because that's the problem that I've faced it before in the past. If you don't get a solid community behind you who are out actively raiding and whatnot, it's down to you to be doing that, and it's down to you to try and get people involved. Well, it's a very time-consuming task, and you can't be doing that if you're then trying to spend hours and hours coding your utility.
Yeah, I've been there and done that. It
Yeah,
doesn't work.
exactly. Like yeah, it's hard, isn't it? You're either doing one or the other. You can't do both. So
Yeah,
that's where we're trying to take the strain away from that in a very user friendly like application that you can just go on and do everything. You can book your callers, you can buy your shield packages, set your telegram up, build a website,
so
all the
with
time
book,
consuming
actually,
stuff.
let me jump into that real quick. So with booking these callers, do you have deals worked out with these callers that are going to be listed on there? As far
Yeah, we
as,
probably
are
will
you going to
be.
get a
Like,
percentage, or how's
yeah,
that work? Because you're
we've
basically
yet,
shilling their call channel.
yeah, we're basically, we've yet to get to that stage. Like, what I'm trying to do with my project at the moment is these big callers and influencers is to explain to them and show them the tech and what we're trying to do and that, and get them on board so their names are just linked to us, because it looks, from a project side of things, if we've got a big list of like really well-known influencers in the space, um, it makes us look solid. Do you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
when I was talking about Uxie and getting a list of callers and whatnot, I'm not too sure if we will get a percentage, because I've yet to approach people and discuss this option with them. It's just a feature that we've been talking about doing, and it's something that we want to go down. Um, we might get referral percentages from that. It would be nice if I can set a network up where that, um, if you've got a premium account with Uxie by holding $100 worth of tokens, then you would get access to that list, and it might offer you a slight discount if that you say that it's been referred, like it'll give you a referral code or something from Uxie, um, that you can then give the caller, and they can then take that referral code and punch it in into the bot's DM to make sure that they have actually approached them through that, and then apply the discount and whatnot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, that's a lot further down the line. At the moment, we're sorting out our base array of utilities to a point that we will be able to take on clientele, multiple clientele at the same time. And then again, when the services are not hired, they will be shilling UXOS.
Right. Okay. So with this being a marketing company, basically, where you are collecting fees
Yeah.
from, devs and projects, are you guys a registered or a registered company, or planning to become one? And
Yes,
in
we are
what
planning.
country would that be?
Yeah, we're planning to register a holding company. I've already been talking to Stefano about that now. Stefano is in real life a lawyer. So we have already been looking at things, and we will get everything sorted like well and above board. Because yeah, you are right. We are building a brand and a project at the moment, and if it becomes into um like a revenue based sort of thing, then obviously we step into the world of making sure that all your taxes are paid and your books are above board and whatnot. So
Right.
that'll all be looked at, yeah.
And
As for where the holding company will be registered, we've yet to
with the,
discuss that.
okay, well, I was
Yeah,
just about to ask, with him being the legal aspect of it, if that was
yeah.
going to
Well,
be
we'll look into
registered
like,
in Italy, or
yeah, yeah. It might be, yeah, it might be. To be honest with you, we'll probably just look at which country that we can set a holding company up that you pay the less tax on.
right. Oh yeah, well, that, and regulations as far as
Yeah,
becoming a security with money going back into the token and everything
yeah,
else. Definitely want to look into all that.
yeah.
Um, let me see. We've got some questions in chat. I'm gonna read a couple off here. This one I don't really understand. I don't know if you'll understand it. Power asked, when it comes to picking your tutor slash consultant, would there be a marketplace for this consultant so we students or customers can pick our tutor and also pick which has more experience while displayed on the interface of the marketplace? I don't get what the tutor question is about. So if
Yeah,
do
I'm
you
not too
understand that?
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
When it comes to
We'll
picking
move
your,
on from that question. I didn't see any tutor or consultant aspects in anything, so
yeah, I don't know. No.
I didn't know if I was missing something. Edith has one question regarding the dev team and management structure within. I have seen in previous projects that because the team isn't able to make a sustainable and progressive structure of policies and protocols, the energy of the team just scatters and the project dies. How do you guys plan to showcase us in transparent way about how the business will be handled within this team, and what guidelines will you be following to get where this project deserves to be idea wise?
Yeah, I've actually had this question in the previous AMA word for word, so that kind of feels like a copy paste.
Right.
But, but
It,
when I answered it
it
last
actually
time,
seemed like a copy paste because they asked if they could ask the question 2 seconds before they pasted that. So
yeah, well, like I say, I've seen that word for word before. We're very transparent as it is. Like we don't hide anything. We've got we're KYC'd with two firms. The website, which is still getting updated, that's got team portfolios on, including LinkedIn profiles and whatnot. Um, we're open about our clientele wallet. Like you can easily access that through our chat. So you can see if we're making any revenue, how much is coming in, where it's going. Um, we've got a roadmap and a white paper, which I will admit at this point, it needs to be revamped and reorganized. It is a bit messy, but as with everything else, you launch and things are done as quickly as possible in order to get some content out there so people can sit down and have a read and see what you plan and where to go. But everything is on our website. You can come in our chat, you can ask us any questions. We don't shy away from anything. Um, we're completely open and fully doxed. So
yeah, and actually, everything is on the chain too. With this being
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
basically
So like
a
you can't
crypto
we can't
related
hide anything. Yeah.
crypto
There's no
related
there's
project and payments. Everything
yeah.
should be on chain, and a set wallet as far as payments and everything else goes.
Yeah.
Um,
And as for like the team dispersing and stuff, like I've known and worked with Stefano for quite a while. Like we're friends, but it's probably good. And we was discussing this the other day. It's probably good that we're in different countries because we're not like real life friends. So there's no messing about. Like it's completely business orientated. We're both very hardworking people, and we have decided that we've got no team tokens, and we're not going to take any dev like money out of the fees of selling services until everything is online. So it is in our best interest to continue and see out the development of the projects because I mean we've spent hours and hours on coding as it is from weeks ago. Like we've probably spent days and weeks sat at a laptop coding. So if we don't like see this out, then everything that we've done and everything that we're doing, all the AMAs we're planning, everything else, it's just going to be a waste of time. So our end goal is to do that because that's when we see a return on what all the work we've been doing.
yeah, for sure. Actually, that brings me to another question that I had personally. With the So as you guys expand and you have all these utilities set and you do become a registered company, are you
Mhm.
looking to try to market this to like real world companies and not just
Yeah,
crypto?
yes,
And
yes, we will.
and what
That's
plans
the
do
good
you
thing
have
about the utility.
to
Like,
reach out?
yeah, well, at the moment we're obviously we're based on BSC, so that's where we're going to start. Um, the idea is with the bots being like a separate entity, so to speak, like the tech will work with anything. So if we take on like and I use this in the last AMA as an example, like if we have a construction company approach us, um, the Twitter bots, we can just start getting them to focus on hashtags to do with construction and whatnot. Um, and they will start shilling instead of it being a project, it'll just be a company. So they'll start advertising the company to that hashtags. We can target. specific accounts. So I'm not really too sure because I'd have to do some research, and I'm not a marketer for a construction company. But so I don't know the results off my head, but I'm sure that there will be some kind of influencer out there who will promote different brands of, I don't know, cordless drills and tools and whatnot, and we can get them interested in stuff. Do you know what I mean? It can be changed to whatever application because it is just marketing on social media. If somebody's got a website that they want to market that sells jewelry, like we can target jewelry hashtags and people who are interested in jewelry and stuff like that. It doesn't just apply to crypto. Like it can be brought into the real world where real companies will be paying fiat.
Right.
Again, we're very young. I mean, we're not even 3 weeks old, so
And with
it's a
the
long-term play. You know what I mean? But the options and the reach is endless. Like that might be something that we'll look at in a couple of years' time because I'm pretty confident that UXOS will still be going in a couple of years because there's always going to be a demand for our
and
products. Like,
with
well,
those fiat payments, have you thought about how you would keep those transparent as well? You know, those aren't going to be on the blockchain, and so how would those be kept transparent as far as, you know, basically being able to be audited by the token holders?
yeah, it's a good question. Um, oh, that was your mic. I didn't know whether Stefano was stepping. It's a good question. It's not something like, again, we're 3 weeks old. It's something that is a possibility. But I haven't really thought much about it because we've got a lot going on. Like the last thing I want to do as well is bite off more than I can chew at this current time. It is a venue that we can go down when we feel like we're at a stage that we can go down that route. Then I will look into ways to do that. Like I've never actually been asked that question before, and I'll be completely honest with you. And I've not really thought about the transparency side of things to do with taking payments for fiat and stuff like that because it's not something that we do. It it
You
it,
come
it
to the
can
right
be
place
something
if
that
you
we
want to
do.
get asked business questions.
Yeah. No, it's a good question. Yeah, it's a very good question. And it, like I'm saying, it'll be something that I'll have to look into. I can't answer it at this moment in time, but it's that's not what our project is about currently.
Okay, but
Like
as
it
long as,
can
you know,
be.
it'll be as long as, you know, before that starts, it'll be clearly
Yeah, of
guideline
course, yeah,
and set.
because yeah, like I say, Stefano's a lawyer and stuff, and he's very clued up on how the world works in that aspect. So there's when we get to that point, that's when we'll cross it and we'll look into things in a bit more depth. Like I can't answer every question at this stage because there'll be venues that like that question. We're not there yet, so it's unnecessary for me to go and research it and look into it. So I can't honestly answer it. But as for the question about is it possible that real world companies could use this? Yes, it is. The tech will support that. How we'll go about it financially, I couldn't tell you at the moment because we're not at that stage.
Okay. Just you know, maybe like just maybe like an ETA on when do you think the utilities, when do you think you guys will be completed with just the utilities that you've talked about so far?
Yeah, right. Well, the first port of call was to get Telegram, Twitter, and TikTok sorted. We've got um, AI for Telegram. We have AI for Twitter that works. Uh, we do have a bot that's like semi-coded for TikTok. It kind of works and it kind of doesn't. So that's been set aside at the moment. I don't think, in order for completion dates and that, I don't think there ever will be a completion date because as we continue to grow, if the demand keeps increasing or terms of services for platforms change, then there will be work. So I don't think work will ever be completed in that sort of sense. When do I see us being in a position where we have enough utility to take on multiple clients? I would hope that that would be within 6 months from launch. We started off UXOS with two Telegram AI, and that was it. We currently have 10 AI accounts. 8 of them are online for Telegram. We've got one Twitter bot that is online. We just need to sort some more developer accounts out for that. So we intend to increase that to 5. That will be our first goal mark. And then when we've got 5 of those online that are all in operation correctly, we'll then focus on getting the TikTok. Those are the 3 platforms that we intend to start with. I do intend on trying to take the tech onto other platforms, like if it's possible to adjust algorithms in our favor for platforms such as YouTube, or getting, like, if we find that there's a demand for our tech on Rumble, some stuff like that, then we will push there, but we're just mainstreaming at the moment. So you might see us on Instagram, you might see us on Facebook at some point. So again, that's why I can't really give you a deadline on there being an end of work, because I don't think end of work will ever come. As long as there's demand, then we will supply. But yeah, the major part of the utilities, I want to have over 20 AI utilities online in sub 6 months, which will allow us to still show our own product, our own projects, but have enough utility to take on multiple clients and start creating revenue for the ecosystem externally with that.
Right. Okay. Alex Costa, he's got a question in here. And I know, I'm pretty sure, Stefano has said that you guys are funding everything, out of pocket for now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And you're doing, a lot of the development work as well. Um,
Yeah.
so it kind of answers, do you have adequate capital for the sustainability and stability of the platform if you run into any problems down the road that are going to affect the economics of the platform? Do you have a plan B to raise the economics of the project? Again, basically, he's asking, do you have enough money to keep things going if there, is no volume coming
Yeah.
in?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah. The project itself is, at this moment in time, it's not revenue based. Like, VPS servers for our requirements are not majorly expensive. Like, we purchased one the other day, which should be enough to host 10 Telegram AI on. And we took a 6-month contract out on it, and we got a 50% discount for being a new customer, and it cost us $32. So
That's
they're
cheap.
our only overheads. Yeah, we're based digitally, so our overheads are our VPS servers, and like, we have real lives. We've got jobs, so we can afford $32 for 6 months of service hire. So
I'd hope so.
like, yeah, and we've got wallets with crypto in, so we have liquidity for things. If the marketing wallet doesn't hold enough money to, say, secure a partnership or run some adverts or promotion on a website or whatnot, then we have liquidity to back it up. It's in our best interest to make sure this project is successful, because at the end of it all, that's when we start seeing some revenue ourselves. So it needs, like, the overheads are small, and we want it to work. So there's no problems with like liquidity or running into financial problems. We don't have a $10,000 a month state-of-the-art office to pay for. Do you know what I mean? We're all based in the cloud, and
At least
cloud
not yet.
service. Yeah, cloud service is a very competitive space, and it's not expensive, so it's good. We're good.
This next part to his question doesn't make much sense to me. You guys aren't a DAO, so what? I don't know what he's talking about voting. Um, said at the end, to the best of my knowledge, voting, token holders and community involvement are really tricky situation because it gives power to the community, but it also allows for unnecessary delays when super fast execution of certain things are needed in a project at some point. How do you intend to balance this, give power to the community, and also avoid the challenges accompanied? Um,
Can you do me a favor and just add me to that question in the chat so I can read over it?
yeah. Basically, it looks like he's speaking about a DAO to where token holders would have votes in
Yeah,
the
I've actually found it earlier. Yeah, we're not a DAO, so that doesn't really
right.
apply to us at the moment.
Okay, that's yeah. I some of these questions are just a little random and not very specific to the project.
Yo, Poppa.
Hey, what's up, Call? You
Hey,
got a
it's me.
question?
I've got one that might be a bit relevant if you want.
All right, yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so obviously you guys have mentioned about how the Twitter side of things work, that it's capable of working to hashtags and potentially even certain accounts or types of accounts and areas that they function in, things like that.
Yeah,
Anyone that's worked with Telegram shillers, one has probably experienced the mental anguish of it sometimes because it can be agonizing, which is why I think you guys are onto something here.
yeah.
But one of the things I might have missed it, but I don't think you clarified, is what sort of groups is the bot currently, or will it be functioning in? So is it in like these big 50,000 member groups where they've been creating the full of bots and fake accounts for shilling, or is it going to be shilling in random project telegrams hoping to not get banned? Or
No. We don't believe in anybody. I always say, anybody who advertises anything in somebody else's Telegram, like their own project in somebody else's project, like it, it's
And
scamming.
and I can
So
I can I can attest to that. I've seen you actually say that in other project chats where somebody's come in
yeah,
shilling, and we've been in
yeah,
there at the same time. Like, what is this clown doing?
yeah. I don't agree with anything like that. I did touch on it lightly. Like we do scrape data lists, and then we go through those lists manually. So we will check that they're not just dead channels. We're trying to get organic members, so we do manually target organic groups, so to speak. Like it doesn't matter what Telegram chat you go in, there's always bots in there. Um, some of the groups, I mean, this is where we're trying to integrate UXI as well, because UXI with the automatic translation, we can get that plugged in somehow. Got to look into this yet, but we're hoping to get to a point where that we can use the translation functions of UXI with the Telegram shield bots. So then we can start targeting, say, like we go into Chinese crypto groups and it'll translate the shields into Chinese automatically and stuff. We do look for active channels. It's not just like we scrape a load of data and just throw it in there and we see what sticks. We're trying to get organic reach. So our job manually, once the utility is developed and is working, we do have to work through the lists occasionally and make sure that like the Telegram channels are still operational. If we don't feel like there's Telegram groups that are getting any traction, then we can turn that off. And we monitor that in a way that the bots are actually split up into groups. So we don't have like this bots, like multiple bots in the same channel, and they're all split up, so we can kind of like, it breaks them down into categories, which makes them easier for us to manage to see what kind of reach they're getting. Like there is no referral link or anything, so it's not like we can say, right, well, this bot is doing better than that one. We just got to kind of monitor things, but we do update our shilling lists regularly, and that's all done manually. So if we don't feel like we're getting a pull, or say a bot has been in a specific group of channels for too long, or what we feel is too long, like say when we put our bots out for UXOS when we launched, we captured a lot of people, and then the capture rate slowed off. And we realized that was because that the bot was successful in those groups, but because it was still continuing to shill UXOS in those groups, we had captured the majority of the audience that would be interested in our project in that group. So then what we did was we removed those groups from the bot, and we put the bot in different groups, and we cycled it, and we saw another influx of people like rapidly coming in, and then it slows off, and then that's when you realize that that audience has been captured to that extent. We will still keep the bots in the groups that we know work in that sense, that they will be used to shill other projects. So it doesn't matter who makes the shill, it's the project that will sell. So we can still work out where we're at. And we've been experimenting with our own projects because we actually see the numbers coming in, which groups seem to be working. Like, it's not like we deployed these two bots into like 2,000 channels that we data scraped, and we don't know where they're coming from, because we add all the channels manually, and we go through them manually to make sure that like the bot passes. If they've got like a capture or a portal, for example, we manually take that bot through. So we knew what groups that was in. It didn't just switch on and was instantly in 2,000 groups. Like, we have to put the bot in the groups. So we'll go into a channel and we actually look at like the member list, how many is online, have a quick look through the chat, see if it is genuine looking, rather than just like, there's some lounges that I'm in personally that I don't even bother opening because it's just 10,000 copy pastes. So that's not what we get. And I think the methods that we've taken so far have proven themselves to work, because as I touched on earlier in the AMA, we haven't done no influencer marketing. I've not paid nobody to call us. I've done one promotion on Moontalk where I bought a 3-day website banner. And apart from that, the other money has been spent on securing partnerships with people, which we haven't even used to the full effect yet, because with us having such a low LP and whatnot, we want to consolidate, fatten the LP up so then we can leg up properly. We don't want a pump and a dump and a crash and the death of the token, because we're not a pump and dump, we're not a degen. We have genuine utility for a genuine problem, and this is gonna work out over a couple of years. So we've spent the time putting the bots in channels that we know work, and we can see the results. Like, we saw the chart go from $240 to $148,000. We dipped back down to like 40K or something, and then revisited 100K again, and then we've dipped down to 40,000 and gone to 80 and whatnot, and then we're leveling out, and we seem to be seeing now a solid floor at around $60,000, and that's all from the utilities and the groups that we've been putting them in. Like, if we just chucked them in 2,000 groups or whatever, then we might not have seen the quality of the community that we have managed to build thus far with just the utility. So we are very select in what we do.
Yeah.
I
So
hope
it's
that's it.
more like open crypto discussion groups that you're going after, where there's going to be a crowd, mixed crowd for different projects, different things people are looking for, and you're
Yeah.
putting it out basically into an open, genuine audience. So the other sort of thing, it might be a difficult question, but as you said, like you do manually check the groups and things like that. If
Mhm.
you had to take like a stab in the dark guess of, say, I come to you with, I don't know, Project Beanie Baby, and I book 24 hours on the Telegram. If you had to sort of give an estimate on potential user coverage, what would you say that could max out at if you were being optimistic currently?
Right. Well, there's a difference between reach and conversion.
Yeah, absolutely. Just pure reach, not necessarily people who are going to follow it. Just what is the potential, maximum eyes it can say.
There's quite a lot of variables because it would depend on the size of like how many bots you was taking and whatnot. But if we was say like we run 5 Telegram bots for you, each bot is in a minimum of 200 channels which have been hand selected. So you've got a reach there of 1,000 channels. Now, some of those might have 400 members in. Some of those might have 10,000 members in. So I would expect your shield to at least be seen 50,000 plus different people at a minimum. But it probably extends far beyond that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, part of what I do anyway, obviously I help out Poppa here and there with things here, but I also help with various projects as well. As I've encountered Shillers many, many times. Hence the detailed questions on what exactly it's capable of doing. As I said, if done right and targeted properly, I think you guys are onto something here, so I'll be keeping an eye on it myself.
Yeah, the Telegram side of things it's a bit harder to monitor because it's like a gamble. Like this is why we're trying with the Telegram side of things. We're trying to break it up into time zones and stuff like that, so we can monitor and actively shill in specific channels that are like continent based or time zone based. So we maximize what we've got. It's a lot harder than it is, say, for Twitter, because Twitter you can literally select hashtags and the bot will just keep searching for those hashtags. So if you've got an official project page on Twitter and you post and you hashtag it, then that bot will go on there and it'll like and retweet. So you get interaction with your posts. And then you can also put shills in the bot and get it to search for, I don't know, hashtag B&B, moonshot, stuff like that. And it will go and find those hashtags and then it'll intermittently post on different posts that have got good interactions with that post. So that's a lot more easier to manage. Whereas the Telegram side of things, you're kind of just dangling a fish on the end of a pole in front of a group of people and seeing who takes the bait, because I might promote UXOS in 200 groups and get a really good reaction because of my utility and stuff like that. And I might publish Project B in the same 200 groups and it might not have utility. It might just be like a degen play, so to speak, and people might not be interested in it. It's a bit too difficult for me to answer the questions and go, this amount of people is going to interact with you and come in your Telegram and whatnot, because it all depends on everything. If you've got like a proper shitty logo and a website that isn't very functional, then you're going to do a lot less than somebody who's got a bit more of a professional logo and a better website. So, but as in terms of eyes, like, yeah, hundreds of thousands of people. And as we get into like 20 plus bots and whatnot, then it's more exponential. And then you've also got to remember as well that once you do start building a community, if they see the project and they like the project, then they start telling their friends, and then their friends aping and stuff like that, and that starts bringing volume. So there's a lot of variables. I'm not saying it's the be all and end all, but I'm not trying to guarantee volume to somebody's project. What I'm trying to guarantee people is that you don't need to worry about shilling, and you will see results. You will get people who will come in who have been captured organically, and they've come in because there's something about your project that interests them. As to you selling them the dream of buying into your project or whatnot, that's not something that I do.
I suppose that would also come down to the actual project that is utilizing it to create good
Yeah,
shills to draw the people in, because the bot is
yeah,
just shilling their shills.
I
yeah,
think
exactly. So
Popper of all people knows I'm allergic to DJing anyway. That's not my style, so that's not an issue.
yeah, I don't really like. I'll ape the odd degen if it's a friend who's launching it and whatnot, but I don't go actively seeking them in that. I'm not a big believer in that. But yeah, it's just as an example. Like, we can show your project to thousands of people. Whether those thousands of people will be converted into buys into your project, I can't guarantee that, because that's, like, again, it's not down to me. If we capture people, and I can guarantee numbers will come into your Telegram, I can guarantee that. Whether they'll continue to ape or whatever, like, that is completely project specific. If the dev isn't active, if they've got no
Or if it'll
clear
be a
plan,
million marketing proposals.
yeah, do you know what I mean? It's one
It's
of them.
Telegram. You can't really
Yeah,
foresee any of that.
yeah. But I mean, like, we've used our utility to build our community, and we have, like, you can go back, you can see it, you can come into our chat and talk to people. Like, there's the solid holders who've seen the utility, they're all there because of the utility. They've all seen the chart grow exponentially because of the utility. Like, I mean, in BSC at the moment, it's rare for projects to do like 100K plus. You know what I mean? We did 100K. Well, I woke up at 128,000 on Christmas Day, which was a Sunday. So not only is it weekend, where weekend volume is terrible, like, we'd gone parabolic in overnight, basically, on Christmas Eve. And then we later broke $100,000 again on New Year's Eve, which is another time that trading volume was terrible. I think that was a Saturday night. So it goes to show that it works. I mean, obviously there was a bit of hype about it because you do get that it's a new token and everything. But the good thing about it was it wasn't just a straight line up. Like, we had regular good volume. On New Year's Eve, we actually trended on the DEX as the number 4 coin for gaining on, with trading volume. So it's been breaking little records, like, just with the holidays hitting ATH, revisiting over 100,000. Like, there's 95% of projects don't get to the level that we've got to, and we haven't thrown thousands of dollars at marketing. We've literally just built services, tested them, and then created a Telegram, got a website, a very basic website when we launched, and we just turned the utilities on and just sat there and watched the results. So we haven't pumped this chart with paying a load of influencers thousands of dollars. We've not thrown a crap load of money at it. We're not a trend name, so we're not like 2023 Enu or Christmas Enu or any of that bollocks. Like, it is just, we've made our own name, and the utility has got us to where we're at. So we know it works, and it is a problem that I've seen even myself in my own prior projects. it's hard to be able to spend time, because I mean, a lot of devs are real people. They've got work and families and arrangements to go to and whatnot. So the time that they do get spare, they should be focusing on developing their project or their utility. They don't need to be doing the community building side of things. Like, obviously they'll have to engage with the community and stuff like that, but as for shilling and getting the word out, we can do that in an organic way. Like, we're not a call pump channel. Like, we don't take BNB payments to make a post on a Telegram channel in the hope that some people are going to ape. Like, it's not our market audience. Like, we're trying to go out there and get people. Like, we will advertise your project in front of thousands of people. Those thousands of people, there's going to be a certain percentage of those that will be interested, but every eye is a good set of eyes to have. So I would rather, like, when we first started, we only had like 20 members in the Telegram. Say there was 100 members in the Telegram, but there was probably only 20 of them were active, but those 20 active people helped build the foundation of the community, because they was stoked about the product. They'd seen the product and come in because of the product, and then believed in it. And they obviously believe in it because it works. It worked with them, so why is it not going to work with somebody else? And as we've gone on, like, we've been transparent, we're forever updating stuff, we're forever posting updates in the Telegram. Everybody knows what we're doing, and we keep delivering. And we've done things that other projects struggle to do in a very short space, and it's all just been down to what we're developing. There's been no external factors causing the chart to pump because we've paid somebody to do a Telegram call or whatever. It's not artificial, it's all organic. And that's why 3 weeks later, we're still sat on a solid floor. We've got decent trading volume day in, day out. So there's always opportunities for somebody to, if you like swing trading, drop on the chart, give it a go. There's plenty of options, and it's solid. Like, we want to be long term, so we wanted an organic base of traders and investors, and that's what we've managed to capture with the utility. So the problem that we've experienced previously, which is what brought us to UXOS, and developing something that was automated that could tackle that, and it's proven itself. It shows that it works, and we'll continue to develop that, keep building the array, keep going onto other platforms, and then eventually I'm hoping that the day will come that everyone will know UXOS. Like, people talk about Doge, people talk about Shibcoin. Like, that's the level we want to be at. We want to be a household name, and we're trying to build utility that will take us there rather than just Christmas Inu.
Yeah, perfect. Does anybody else have any other questions? Call, were you done? Did that answer your question? Call still here. Okay. Anybody else have any questions, or
Hey,
do you
Papa.
want to? Hey, Stavros, what's going on, man?
Can you, brother? Good, good. I'm listening to this awesome project, and I have a few questions.
Yep.
Starting with number one is that, I've already thrown some money in it anyway, because anything that's AI based usually is pretty good, except for, like, Skynet. But I threw some money in early, and I just want to see where this thing was heading, and I'm quite impressed with the fact that it's managed to maintain what it has.
Yeah.
I want to find out on the Twitter shilling side. Do you guys, how do you guys evade shadow banning besides changing topics and hashtags? Is that really what it does, or is there other sort of consensus protocols that you follow in terms of not being shadow banned because the biggest thing with Twitter shilling is that if you have somebody that copy pastes in a group of people shilling, and everybody's got good intentions, and one person just goes copy paste and doesn't change anything, and the bots of Twitter pick it up. Sometimes they shadow ban all the comments and the comments linked to it. Have you guys figured out a way around that currently, or because you'll have community members who will be excited and they'll go and sort of do their own shilling, and then you've got the bot, let's say, engaged at the same time, and then that might affect that. So is there something that you can do to get around that? Is it something you foresee that would be a problem in the future, or is it not really an issue?
At this moment in time, and from what we've seen, it's not been an issue. Like, as I touched over before, the bots very subtly changed the shills to start with. So if it was just copy and pasting messages, the same message, then it would get picked up. So we have already added something that we've dubbed the human touch element. And that basically just adjusts the shill slightly, so it'll avoid detection. It'll add like a goodbye on the bottom, or like thanks for checking us out and stuff like that, and it'll reorder the shill. So it might like just simply change the order of the links that you've posted. So as for like bot detections, we've yet to be shadow banned or banned. On platforms such as Twitter, they have terms of service for automated accounts, but it's very clearly stated what can and can't be done. So with stuff like that, it's just a game of softball where that you're testing the boundaries, but you're also staying within them, within a safe realm. So if you do get reported, then you've got a very good chance of just getting your account, like the ban lifted. But like I was saying earlier, we was testing this utility like 5 weeks prior, just with like random things and stuff, to one, see if it worked, and for bug testing, and two, to see if we did get banned, and we didn't. Like, including we're nearly 3 weeks old, 3 weeks old on Wednesday. So if you just add 3 weeks to the 5 testing, that's 8. So we've done over 2 months of running the same accounts, and we've yet to come into contact with any issues regarding the tech.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for that answer. Yeah, I just jumped in a little bit late into the VC, so I didn't hear the first part of it, but I appreciate the answer.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the results, let's say, do you customize? Let's say, do you pre-order or customize the amounts of likes, retweets, whatever, over a period, or do you select one bot and say, I want this one bot on every tweet that searches on that hashtag to give me 30, 40 likes? Do you guys set custom parameters, or is there a dashboard that I can go and do that manually?
Yeah, at the moment, at the moment, we're doing that kind of thing. Like, we're setting the hashtags that we want it to target and stuff. And we do that is we'll basically offline the bot for a second, adjust the code, and put it back on. We do want to integrate that into UXOS, which is our Telegram bot. We're building a big UI for that, where like, I don't know if you was here before, but you'll basically be able to access features on there that will do things like that. So you can like order our services directly from our Telegram bot, and it will ask you for basic details. That's like the automation side we want. So it'll want like project name, shill, blah blah blah, and the bots will then do that. But then when we go over to the automated side, and I touched on this before. I mean, it's just 1 second. Is this AMA recorded?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so you'll be able to go back and listen to what I was talking about with vetting and stuff like that. But yeah,
Sure.
we are getting to a stage, like we've already discussed that we want the bot basically to offer the services, but the bot is not actually a utility in that it generates revenue like our shilling services do. The shilling services are separate from the Telegram bot. We just wanted to try and integrate the Telegram bot into the services to bring more eyes over.
Sure.
But we're going to get a store on our website. That'll be the first port of call where that you can make crypto payments to our client wallet, and you can place orders through that.
Oh.
And then I have already spoken to somebody about developing a phone app as well. So you'll just be able to create an account with UXOS, and then just purchase your shilling packages through that basically, and NC details and whatnot. Like we'll take contact details and everything. So if anything's been missed off or we need some more details about your project, like you've just gave us a really crap shill with no website or Twitter links or anything, then we can make contact, because we do want our clientele to receive a good service. So we will be interacting with the customers. It's not just like it's a faceless business with faceless shilling capabilities. There are humans behind it who will help and get you the best out of the service, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build and like solid communities for clientele who might not have any idea about marketing, or might not have the time, or know a trustworthy raid team that isn't just going to scam them of 3BNB or whatever and then not bother doing any work. So you can book in with us, get an automated service that you know is going to be online. You can quite easily, like, I don't know how many lounges you guys are in on your own personal accounts, but if you just go on the search bar and type $UXOS, you'll probably find our shill bots in one of your groups with our shill. So you can see the utility live.
Oh.
You can, if you've come to me with your project, you can type in like hashtag your project, and if you're in any of the groups that our bots are in, you can see it working live. So you know with us that like there's humans at the other end of the line. If you've got any issues, we can resolve that. If you give us like a base shill that we don't feel is going to do anything for you, we're not just going to take your money. Like we'll interact with you and try and bring you the best that we can, so that you see the best results. We want to make it a worthwhile service, and like I say, you know it's going to be trustworthy, because we're transparent about everything. We've got our own token, everything like that. You can see on our chart the effects of our utilities, because that's all we've ever used. And you know it works. You can see it working. Once you've made that payment and we've told you that your shills have gone live, you can go and find them. You can see that it's working. You'll be able to see the results in your Telegram channel. So there should be no worries about anything with that. Yeah.
100%. I appreciate the answer. Thanks, because I'm pretty keen on it. To look into deeper. I haven't read the white paper yet. I did see the project, and unfortunately I've been running around, so I haven't had time to read the white paper. But I mean, Poppa can vouch for me. Let's say I think.
Yeah, definitely. Come and check us out. Like the website, I was saying before, the website is getting updated regularly, and the white paper is due. Like we made that in a rush, if you will, just so we got some content to put out there. So it's not very well organized. I'll hold my hand up. It was a document that was thrown together in the nick of time, so we could get something out there. So that is getting updated, and will be more clearer with a clearer roadmap and that. But you can still get the base of the project, what we're building, who we are. Come in the Telegram, ask any questions. We don't shy away from anything. We've got nothing to hide. We're KYC'd with two different companies. We're rolling with an audit soon, so we've got a contract audit going through. There's plenty of things in the works.
I don't know Stefano that well, but I can vouch for big time. myself.
Yeah. Cheers, bro. Yeah, we've been about. That's it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
because
I'm not. Go on.
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. There's a bit of a delay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, I'm not like the biggest known developer in the space, but I am known. I have worked on projects that have done like crazy X's and stuff. I've been known by people who are known in the space. So it's not like it's not a degen play, and I'm not here to make a quick buck and stuff. Like it's a genuine project, and ask around about the team, come and read what we've done, come read the white paper, come in the Telegram, have a chat, play with Uxie, and just hopefully you'll have a good time. You'll see the value that we're trying to bring and what we're doing and how dedicated and hard working we are, and hopefully you'll make an investment because that's what we're about, really. We want investors, you know what I mean? We can make something good here. Like we've got
Yeah,
good utility. We're well connected and known and
yeah.
trusted within the space. So
I'm invested already. Yeah, I've
nice.
already invested in your projects. I've already put money into your project a while back. But that's why I say I saw the name and I thought, okay, the potential. I just threw some money in there just to see what happened, and it's like I said, this chart's been stabilized. So I haven't really watched the chart at all. I've just been unfortunately too busy with another project that
Yeah,
I'm working on. So
yeah,
Poppa knows the project, and it's quite massive. So I'm
yeah,
definitely looking to automate some of these functions because we do have a short group. But the thing is, what I like about the AI side is that human beings are in different time zones. They get tired, they get lazy,
yeah,
they get
exactly, mate. Yeah,
distracted, or they
yeah,
have a bad day.
yeah,
Yeah, so
exactly.
I
And
like
this is
something
it.
that's pretty
Yeah,
automated and something that's yeah. If I can automate that process, part of the process, it helps me to focus on other stuff because my plate's pretty full at the moment with regards to marketing and stuff because I'm a marketing director for a blockchain, and
yeah. Okay, cool.
yeah, it's it gets a bit crazy. It
Yeah,
gets a
well,
bit
this is
crazy.
it.
So we're looking to
Yeah,
grow. There's two things. Obviously, growth's most important. Mm, Yeah, growth's important, but also organic growth, like you mentioned earlier. Organic growth is you can't beat that. It's
yeah,
important to have that.
exactly.
So
Yeah, and like that, if you've not got a massive team to start with to all work on a project, like building that community is a very hard and time-consuming process, and an option for a lot of people until this point was to just go and hire some raiders or some shillers, but they sleep, they mess about, you might get scammed, they might just take your money and not bother doing anything. Like you don't really know what you're getting into.
oh,
And with us, we've got like a transparent
100%.
team that offer an automated service that doesn't take any breaks. It doesn't have a bad day. It doesn't go to sleep. It will work
Actually,
around the clock in a
actually that
targeted.
brings up a question
Oh,
I have because I do have a team of trusted shillers that
Yeah,
I have, and when I'm not using them and people come to me looking for shillers, I give them the work and I let them do that because they are trusted, and they actually do what they
yeah.
are
But
supposed to do.
that that'll be something, that'll be a connection that you've made, and you even know them through somebody who knows that they're trusted, so you automatically gain trust or whatever. But
Right.
as for like
Well,
like you'll know yourself,
my
if you dev a project, you get 100 DMs a day from people going, I'm a shiller, I'm a raid leader. Like if you don't know anybody, the only way you're going to build trust with somebody is if you take that gamble and send them the amount of B&B that they want, and then you see
right.
whether they work or not. Nobody works for free. The shillers want paying before they do any work, and you kind of want to see some work before you want to pay anything because you don't know if you can trust them. Well,
Yeah.
we completely eradicate that issue because
oh,
Well,
we're
mine get paid
KYC.
after, but my
Yeah,
my,
well,
my actual question was going to be, So if somebody was to come to me, if a dev was to come to me and asking, for some shillers or a way to get the word out about their project, what benefit would it be to me personally to direct them to UXOS? Like, would there be some sort of referral, or how would that work?
Yeah, well, we haven't done anything like that. Because like I'm saying, at the moment, with us only being 3 weeks old, our primary focus is the utility. Like, we obviously do care what the chart does because we have people invested. But the chart is always secondary to the utility. The utility is the main factor. We haven't got to a stage where that like there's a referral scheme or anything. We have spoke about it. It is something that I want to do, which is another reason why we're doing the partnerships with people, because if we can get big names attached to us, it just bulks everything up.
Right.
It would be a cool feature if, and
Yeah, and I
I
think
did,
it would benefit the token well, because the
yeah,
more use that the bot gets, the more goes back into the token.
yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, and I did touch on like a
Exactly.
referral
Exactly.
with Uxie, so it is plausible. It's something that we can put in. Yeah,
Awesome.
I think it's a
Awesome.
good, wonderful
Something to
question,
think
Papa.
about.
Thanks. It's actually was my next question as well. You asked my next question for me. Thank you. Because
We think alike
because
sometimes,
being on
Tyrus.
the blockchain side, yeah, yeah. Well, you're a brother from another mother, but anyway, we won't say that too loud. But yeah, Papa's. I mean, Papa's good in this space, and I like the projects that he talks about and investigates and stuff because they do have value. I'm thinking something even long term down the road, whereby we've got a layer one blockchain that we've developed, and
yeah,
it's going pretty well at the moment. So we've over Christmas just relaxed a little bit, just slightly, because we got a mountain of work ahead of us, which we tackle on a daily basis. And one of the things that is always an issue is that you got to build up the shill group. And I mean, Papa knows I'm in another group with him as well. And there's this shill group that we pushed and pushed and pushed, and it went up to
yeah,
700 only
yeah,
active people in the shill group. So so I see the value in what you're doing. I see the value in what Papa's saying, is that you got this dedicated group of show people that you pass the stuff on to, and they know it's going to get done. But I mean, you obviously aiming for those projects that, one, you don't have the budget to do that, or don't have the connections to do that, or the time to do that, so that you can then sort of semi-automate to automate that process, which I
yeah,
think is pretty good, because if you want growth, you got to have consistency. And that's one thing it lacks in this space, or any crypto space, is the consistency of the people. Because let's be honest, you take it, just not that I want to talk about any other project, but you take Shiba Inu, for example. They got a mother of a community, and they stick
yeah, they
together.
do,
And
yeah,
even them, there are times where their Telegram just like slows down completely, because the people get fatigued. They get tired of saying the same thing over and over again. So I mean, it doesn't make sense to semi-automate or automate that process.
yeah,
And what I'm thinking maybe down the line is, I want to test your tech out, like firsthand, and then potentially look at doing some sort of a partnership going forward. I'll tell you why. Because we are a layer one blockchain that is permissioned, not permissionless. So
yeah,
anybody that comes onto our blockchain, and we also a fairly new project as well. We've been about a year in the talking about the project, and then deployed. I think in November it was. We deployed, and we up and running, etc. But part of our a la carte service is that when you come onto our blockchain, you have to be KYC vetted, go through Hacken's audit, which is the top tier. I mean, it beats the other one. Like whatever the other one's name is, I can't remember, but it beats the other tier one guys, and hands down. So our rules are: one, you got to pass that Hacken audit, like real world use case from business perspective. And we focus more on people that want to build proper businesses and put them onto the blockchain. So if we can at some point say, well, okay, we got a deal going with Hacken saying people that go through that, we obviously, if we refer them to the tier one, we want to get something back in return because it helps push into our chart. We pump all that money straight back into the token on our side. And then if it's a case of they need shilling, you can say, well, here we go. We got a shillbot company that can handle your Twitter, handle your your Telegram to grow those areas. We can then do the same type of thing where we get some sort of a referral. So I like where Poppa was going with that. I would be interested in something like that as well, and we can use that to pump our chart because everything that we do in terms of revenue models that come into ours, we then pump back into building the ecosystem. This would be one of those extra things. So that's where that's where my interest is peaked in terms of what you guys are offering. So
that's fine, mate. Yeah. Shoot me a DM, mate, and I'll put you in a group with me and Stefano, and we'll sort something out with that, mate. That won't be a problem.
Yeah, just to follow up on that. So how
perfect.
What would be the best way? Is there an email, or do they for a project to contact you and go through this this vetting to use the
you can either contact us directly on Telegram, or you can get us on the website. We've got a contact us form on the website, which is just a temporary thing at the moment, but that will email support@uxos-ai.com. So we'll get back to you either way. But if you want a quick and easy, more human response, then just grab us on the Telegram.
Okay, good. I just saw a message in another chat from somebody that is interested in possibly using the bot themselves for another project. So
we've done no marketing, we've put no adverts out. We are getting people who are either hiring already or wanting to book in. They're like, oh yeah, I've got a launch coming up, whatever. Like, we're just working with people that we know, we know are safe at the moment. But again, we've done no marketing, and like, people have seen what we've done.
This will be for an actual. This is going to be for a big project that's fully doxed and KYC.
It was free,
and has their own exchange. So I think it'll be safe there as far as.
But this is what I'm saying about the utility speaking for itself. Like, people see and they understand the problem. Like, we have identified a problem which every dev who launches a project understands and has dealt with and has sat there hours and hours on end trying to resolve and build a community and get the word out and shill it to people and capture people and whatnot. And this is an easy automated solution where that you guaranteed thousands of people will see your project. I can't guarantee thousands of people will ape your project because that's project dependent, but I can put it out there in front of thousands of people. I can go on Twitter and automate that process and get bots putting that in the eyes of like specific, like if you're looking for like top crypto influencers, like it can target them if you want certain hashtags targeted because you've got a project that is got a utility to do with, I don't know, a charity cause or something. You can target all the charity aspects, hashtags and stuff like that. Like, it's a very versatile piece of equipment that is very powerful, and it will forever get more powerful. It's AI based, it's smart thinking, and it doesn't sleep. And the more that we develop it and the more utilities that we roll out, the bigger the scope. Like, the more Telegram group will be in.
Actually, with this AI based and the shills, kind of being dependent on the projects to create, eye catching shills. Is there anything integrated into the AI where they can just basically input the key things and the AI will create the shill, that would kind of be best to attract members? Or because some people just create crap copy paste.
Well, this is what I was saying before. Like, we've not got to that bridge yet. Like, that would be something that we would do. Like, when we build like the website, when you're ordering a service for, say, it'll probably start off as a basic ordering service. Like you'll pick a package, make a crypto payment, and then provide some details. If we will be doing that manually for the time being. So if we look and we feel like that shill isn't appealing, then we will contact the person, the client, and we will work something out with them. There's no reason why we can't integrate later on a function as an addition to the tech once we get the tech running that will improve it to the point that you can just put basic information in and it will write you a nice shill. Like Uxie, you can mess
That's
about with
important.
that, and you can say like, give me 5 bullet points on this, or you can say copy and paste a section of your website, um, and say summarize this, and it'll break
Yes.
it down for you. So that there's no reason why we can't expand on that and automate a system where that you'll put in, it'll just ask you a series of questions and then automatically template you a shill out, which is laid out in a correct way that should maximize what you're trying to do.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good, man. That sounds
I
pretty
like that.
awesome.
I like that.
So I know this has
Yeah, I like
definitely
that
gone
too,
a lot
brother.
longer
So,
than we expected.
Yeah, it's
But I
been a
think
long hour, hasn't
we
it?
covered quite a bit here. So does anybody else have any questions that they want
Yeah,
to
actually,
ask?
sorry. Actually, I do have a question. My phone's actually gonna run out of battery, but I was just wondering, like, what are your guys' anti-bot measures? Because a lot of these things are gonna, like, all of these platforms, they're gonna have anti-bot functions, functionalities. Especially with stuff that's gonna stop shilling and all those things. So, like what Papa said, that will really help kind of thwart the anti-bots by allowing the AI to generate their own shills, so they're not replicated. They're not the same as the others. Because a lot of the anti-bot measures, they actually look for similar similar things. They have markers that they look for, and that's how they can ban accounts and stuff like that. So I was just wondering what you guys are doing to fight the anti-bots, and
Yeah,
if
He
you're
actually
actually
answered
tying
this
that
already.
into the AI. Yeah, sorry, I just kind of
Yeah.
got here. Sorry, I wasn't able to
Well,
hear that part.
basically, the AI will subtly change these shills, as far as the order they go in, and wording
yeah,
is how they're successful on Twitter so far. So,
So
and
like
we all
random,
know, yes,
yeah.
because like yeah. So
We've
randomizations,
called
like
it, yeah, we've called it the human touch element, and basically it will randomize certain order of things, but still keep the structure of your shill. And it adds a message on the end, so it might say like "Thanks for checking us out," or the next
oh
one
yeah,
might
yeah, I
say
caught
"Have a
that
nice
part.
day," stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
so that's great because I actually was in the botting space for a couple years, and like I just wanted to mention that because yeah, the randomization is actually a super important thing to break
yeah, it
through the
is. Yeah,
anti-bot measure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
so tying that into your system for sure it's gonna work. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I touched on it before as well. Like the other dev is a lawyer, and he's quite well up on stuff, and he's been making sure that all our tech is running in line with companies' terms of service. So like Twitter has the terms of service for automated accounts, so we are working well within that spectrum. So we're not in breach of anything. So we won't get
Awesome.
detected automatically by the platform because we're working within their realms of restraint. Um, if we do get targeted and mass reported, then
It'll be manual. Yeah.
yeah, it'll be manually. Yeah, it'll have to be an attack or something, which we can't
Yeah, for
stop.
sure.
Yeah, and there's like no first line defense. Like if it gets reported enough times, the account will get suspended. But then because we'll just appeal that, and then because we're working within the realms of what we are and aren't allowed to do, with no issues, then it just gets lifted. So it's more of an inconvenience than a utility stopper. Like we won't be stopped. It can't be stopped. It might be paused manually because somebody's manually reported that, but it won't stop us.
Cool. I have one more question there as well. Sorry, Papa,
Yep.
I'm running over your time here. But I want to find out how big is your team, and what's your ability to scale in terms of what I spoke about earlier. So like, let's say we're talking 2-3 months down the line, whatever, we start, because we're busy with beta testing at the moment of various companies on the blockchain, etc. And this is something I think we can add in as a la carte service, to people, etc. So what if I got some, 2-3 companies that say, well, we want to build on your layer one, and we want to employ your services of your devs, your dev team, because we've got about 50 people tied to this project already. We've got an in-house graphics department, that type of stuff, so we can take care of that. We want to add the service and say, well, you're going to add the automated shills. Obviously, as you develop the tech, it'll become more automated, but etc. Well, what's your ability to scale, and how many people can you allocate to resources? So I can say, well, on this particular account or client, I can dedicate 3 people, 2 people, 5 people, etc. as we go forward.
Yeah, well, the team at the moment is very small. There's only me and Stefano. We have just taken on another Web3 developer who's been helping us with the development of UXI. We are open to growing the team. It's not like it's the closed doors and it is what it is. If we see certain people, like it was me who approached Procor solely off a product that I'd seen that he was the developer of, and his skill set was very impressive and fit what we wanted. So I approached him, and made him an offer, and we've got him on team. So we can do that.
Okay.
So scalability of the team is not a problem. If you was to come to
cool.
us and
So
say, go on.
Sorry, I was just saying to you, I said, so just that's cool that you can scale. And then also the referral thing that Papa was talking about, because I'm a big believer on connections in the space.
Yes,
and I don't obviously, like you said, nobody works for free. So, that I think is a very important discussion to have, because through Papa, I actually found out about this project, I think, in the past. I think it was through him. So I would want him to benefit, from passing this connection over. And if we strike some sort of a deal, then I want to make sure that he's covered, as far as that's concerned, because connections are important in the space as human element.
Yes, they are, mate. Yeah, they
And
are.
anything that we tackle going forward will, yeah. So something to look for, something to maybe look for on your side is just, I don't know. I know you guys are busy and whatever, but just something to look for in terms of some sort of a
Yeah, well,
referral program or whatever.
sort of
I
referral
think,
program out,
because
because
that's a big thing
we
for
have
me.
already
Like,
talked about.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, there's a latency issue. Go on, I'll let you speak.
Yeah, I know. I'm in South Africa, man. So everything's latent.
Yeah.
Everything's delayed. So 100%. Sorry, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. With the partnership
We're
thing,
talking
like,
about the referral
yeah,
program.
the referral program. Yeah, we have already spoken about that, and it is something that we're going to do. We're talking with a project that's got like an online web builder where you can build websites with like very little skill. So that has a referral program that we're discussing, because we're going to integrate their services into our UXI bot, and we would be getting paid on a referral program. It is something that we're looking into. We haven't looked into it at this very moment in time, because we're less than 3 weeks old, and we're currently fully focused on developing utility to make sure it works. So the clientele side of things we've been handling manually, and doing that. And we are young. We're at a point where that we do have utility that people can hire, but when they hire that utility, that is all of our utility is hired to them for that period of time. We do want to, within sub 6 months, get to a level that we can take on multiple clients and still be pushing our own project. And when those clients' booking periods have expired, the utility that they hired will switch back over to UXOS. So as for
100%.
like, if you sound like you're a lot further down the line than we are at the moment, but I would assume that in less than 6 months we will have 20 plus services across 3 social media platforms that you should be able to hire. So we should, well, like once the utilities are developed, if we want to put another 10 accounts on, we don't need to develop 10 accounts. There is work involved in taking it over, but it's not like we're writing code from scratch. It's the same code. We're just duplicating it and attaching it to a different account, which might have a different API, stuff like that.
Of course.
But it is scalable. If you was to come to us in a year's time, when we've got the utilities developed and say, I've got a really big client here who wants 50 accounts, and we don't have 50 accounts online, we should be able to give you a date and say, right, by this date, we will have enough online to take on that client. Like, scaling up is not an issue. It's just the development at the moment because we're very, very young.
100%. 100%. I mean, you know, crypto and things, as you know, things in crypto move at light speed. They move at light speed. So
everything except for the AMA.
Keep up. It's just. Love you, Papa.
Love you too, brother. Yeah, let's
kill me, man.
Let's
love you, man.
Yeah, let's kind of wrap this up. I think we've gone through a lot of information, and if anybody has any questions or anything, you can ask ask Stefan or Big Time in this chat or in their chat. Check out the website and everything else, and go from there.
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions, just feel free to approach and we'll get it wrapped up here, because I do believe we was only booked in for an hour, and that was
it's
2
hours now.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's still. I mean I don't mind.
Okay,
my wife does.
I'll be quiet now.
But yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording, man. It's been great having you guys here.
Yeah, perfect.
And thank you everybody for coming. I'm gonna stop the recording and then I'm gonna just stick around for a second.